All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. It is here. I'm sorry. I was doing a bunch of testing. I watched this gentleman on YouTube, EPOS, right? And I know he's right. He's like, well, with the way YouTube is now, you can upscale your OBS stream and give everybody a better experience at 1440, even if you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I tried it in the last hour, and I just couldn't get the settings right to where everything wasn't just completely shimmery. So I just now had to try to revert everything back to the way I had it yesterday. And that's the best I can do. I'm going to have to, after this stream, then go ahead and mess around. And it was starting to look really nice, but it's some sort of anti-aliasing setting that's just off. And although things are clearer, I mean, all the textures start shimmering again. All the ground textures start shimmering again. And that's just not acceptable. I don't like the way it looks either. So I was, again, testing it and checking it out, and it's like, oh, this looks awful. Anyway, so today, we made it yesterday to the coast. So the whole go west, boy, we've done it. We made it to Oxnard, California. And today, instead of going south, I want to go north along the coast of California and go up a ways, and then, figure out at some point where to turn back and start heading back towards Colorado and make our way back home. So pardon me, I'm a little bit behind today and I don't have everything set up yet. So let me get everything turned on. There's my Sky for Sim. Get our pretzel loaded. Let's get NEOFLY going. Okay, what's that? Right. There's our pretzel app. So far, yesterday, we didn't draw a copyright. I mean, it's early still. I'll see what happens by the end of today. But yesterday, it seems we may have made it an entire day without playing music, without drawing a copyright violation. If so, that's such good news, because it's just been such a pain in the rear, and just no fun. Okay. Right, so we got that going. Now, NEOFLY is loading. We can consider a job. Now I got to get Bushtalk Radio loaded up. Okay, and then we come over here. That loaded. And we get that loaded. Wait. Supposed to get bigger, not go away. We're having a good day. Man, what a bunch of stress. I should know better. I should absolutely know better than to start messing around with graphic settings before doing a live stream. I really should have really got into it last night, because I'm sure I can figure it out, and I'm sure I can make it look fantastic at 1440. But right at the moment, nah. And then this is just a 1080p monitor, so I don't, the hardware's not completely compatible, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure I will get lucky and eventually figure it out. All right, so that's loaded now. So with Bushtalk, you just need to load it, and then you need to minimize it and get it out of the way. All right, this will need shortly. If we get a job, we'll look for here now. Go back into NEOFLY. Not you. my main monitor here so I can see it better. All right, so we don't want to go to Tijuana. I don't want to go south. Although that would be a fun trip, wouldn't it? Going down to Tijuana. See if we can find something that's a lot better. That takes us on the path that we want. Where is that to? To Salinas? Hey, you know, I used to live in Salinas for about a year or so. And that was a hoot. Yeah, well, is this a passenger? What is this one? That's a passenger. 20 grand? Yeah, we'll take that. Is the audio not on? I didn't hear anything. Dude, we should have heard something. It says we have it. But we didn't hear our lovely Alana, or whatever her name is, speak up just then and let us know anything. Right, so they want our weight to be a little bit more. Yeah. Ads. Who are we taking with us? King Kong? They have a lot of got to load. Put in a tiny bit more fuel. Still concerned we didn't hear anything. I mean, again, it is showing it. But I get a little nervous when I don't hear the ladies. I'm gonna go back to the main menu and set us up on the runway and see if we get the audible. Actually, you know what? I better stay away from classical. Classical usually does create copyright issues. Don't want that either, do they? Uh-huh.
Heard you like to ruffle feathers, and I heard you like the
Wish they just had like a soft rock channel, something mellow. Okay. Let's make sure we're at the right airport. KOXR. KOXR. No, we're not hearing anything. Oh well, whether we get whether we get it or not, we just need to get going. Yeah, but we are going to get it KOAR. Oh, the Bushtalk thing's up. Typical. Why is it just showing that screen? Seems to be stuck on a screen here. It's showing the map screen. Man, we're having all kinds of problems today. Why would it be stuck on that? Okay, that's got to be this. Yeah, now that it was that one that was causing problems. Now that. That was stuck up on the screen. All right. Now we seem to be in good shape. All right, well. Are we logged in over here now? Yeah, that seems right. All right, so we got Santa Barbara up ahead. All right. Get our inertial separator open.
McGraw State Beach is a protected beach park located on the south bank of the mouth of Santa Clara River in the city of Oxnard, California. McGraw State Beach is one of the best bird watching areas in California, with the lush riverbanks of the Santa Clara River and sand dunes along the shore. A nature trail leads to the Santa Clara Estuary Natural Preserve. Camping sites are available. 2 miles of beach provides surfing and fishing opportunities. Just south of the station is the undeveloped Mandalay Beach Park, which is about a mile down Coast Beach walk from the park or a bike ride along Harbor Boulevard located south of Ventura on Harbor Boulevard. The beach is on the Pacific Coast Bicycle Route and the California Coastal Trail. The park overlays the productive West Montalvo oil field, and oil wells are in an enclosure just behind the beach, and slant drill into the offshore part of the field. A bit farther down coast is the Mandalay Generating Station. The stack is easily visible from the beach, owned by Reliant Energy. The park often closes in winter, but a lack of funding to repair the infrastructure, specifically a rusting sewage pipe, closed the park in 2011 until repairs could be made. Flooding has been a continuing problem. The water level in the estuary rises when the winter rains fail to breach the sandbar at the mouth of the river. When campgrounds and necessary facilities flood, the park closes until conditions changes. The beach and McGrath Lake are available during the closures, but access is limited to walking from an adjacent area. Surfers Knoll Park on the beach on the north side of Ventura Harbor can be used to access by walking south across the sandbar at the mouth of Santa Clara River. A study in 2015 outlined the benefits to moving the campground within the park to higher ground.
All right, we caught that one yesterday on the way in. And that was that power plant right behind us. Sure.
Point Magoo approach Kineas 21 is type Cessna Caravan 5 miles northwest of Oxnard, 2,300 feet. Request flight following.
The Ventura Pier, formerly known as the Ventura Wharf and the San Buenaventura Wharf, is a wooden pier located on the Pacific Ocean in Ventura, California. The pier has been designated as Ventura Historic Landmark Number 20. It is the oldest pier in California. The pier was first built in 1872 and served for many years as a transportation hub and commercial wharf used to bring merchandise and lumber to the area and to export the area's agricultural products and crude oil. It has been partially destroyed by storms and waves on several occasions and by collision with the steamer Coos Bay in 1914. The pier's most recent reconstruction and renovation project was completed in 2000. From 1938 to 1995, it was the largest wooden pier on the California coast at a length of 1,958 feet. In its current configuration, the pier is 1,600 feet long. It is no longer used as a commercial wharf and is instead used for fishing and as a pedestrian walkway with views of Ventura and the Channel Islands.
All right. Let's see. Loves a different view here. Pause for a minute. That is a lovely view. It's sure is nice getting out of the Southwest. I mean, it's nice. Again, like I said, the whole world is beautiful. And traveling through the Southwest as we were coming along here. We haven't even gone fully south yet. That's Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hey, man.
You betcha.
And I'll call later.
Alrighty, bye-bye. All right. But I wanted to quickly look up some history or anything we got on Ventura. And there's that famous song by America, Ventura Highway. That's probably it right down there. Nights are longer than moonshine. So Ventura, officially named San Buenaventura, Spanish for Saint Bonaventure, is a city in the county seat of Ventura, California. All right, population was 110,000 in 2020. Ventura is a popular tourist destination, owing to its historic landmarks, beaches, and resorts. It's been inhabited by different people, including the Chumash Native Americans for at least 10,000 years. The arrival of Spanish missionaries in 1782. Mission San Buenaventura was established by Junipero Sierra, giving the city its name following the Mexican secularization of the California missions. San Buenaventura was granted by Governor Pio Pico to Don Jose de Arnaz as Rancho X Mission San Buenaventura and a small community arose. Following the American conquest of California, the conquest, San Bonaventure eventually incorporated as a city. Eventually incorporated as a city in 1866. The 1920s brought a major oil boom, which, along with the post-war World War II economic expansion, significantly developed and expanded Ventura. Archaeological discoveries in the area suggest that humans have populated the region for at least 10,000 to 12,000 years. It's pretty. I mean, right here is when we come out of all that stuff we were traveling through the West, so dry and arid, and we're finally now like, wow, California, nice hills again. We're getting mountains again, good sized, and green. Starting to see lots of green again. This is lovely. And I think this is called the Pacific Coast Highway. Runs pretty much the full length, right? See what's on mountain. Carpintera. Right away. Well, I was really hoping for some soft rock. This is just a little too much. Man, yeah, something. Hitting the wrong things. Yeah, this is lovely. Never really spent much time down here at all. And in Salinas, I just pretty much stuck doing my job and got to go check out Monterey and Big Sur. But didn't do too much traveling around. Being a Colorado person, this is definitely more my kind of environment. Rainbow Canyon. So let's get our heading set this way. Our heading control. A little bit more. Montecito, California, Spanish for Little Mountain, an unincorporated town, and census designated place in Santa Barbara County, California, located in the Central Coast, California. Was inhabited for over 10,000 years by the Chumash Indians. Population as of 2022 is 8,638.
Ledbetter Beach is a popular beach in Santa Barbara, California, situated below Ledbetter Hill. It is easily accessible from the Santa Barbara City College and the marina, and has light surf which is acceptable for learners. Because of the small surf and consistent winds, it is also a popular location for kitesurfers and windsurfers during the summer, when the wind is consistent. Of all the beaches in the city, this is one of the most frequently visited. Ledbetter is an artificial beach, built by accident. When it was built, it blocked the downshore current, holding up the natural sand flow. The college is built on the original coastline's front cliffs, now about 30 yards offshore. The original beachfront lies where the current SBCC football field is located. The blocking of sand from downshore cities prompted several lawsuits against Santa Barbara.
Huh. Hello, Rixo Boss, who asks, do I recognize you? At the moment, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. It's been a while, though. Probably come down a bit. Be up this high. Let it go too long.
The Olosphere is a research facility in a theater-like pavilion in a spherical shape, of opaque material, used to project computer-generated imagery and sounds. Included are GIS, scientific, artistic, and other information. Located at the University of California, Santa Barbara, the Olosphere grew out of the schools of electrical engineering and computer science, and the media arts and technology program at UCSB. The Olosphere is housed at UCSB California Nanosystems Institute Building, CNSI, or Ealing's Hall, a 62,000 square foot facility that opened in 2007. The Olosphere is intended to integrate technology and media. The Olosphere includes a 3-story cube that has been insulated extensively with sound-absorbing material, making it one of the largest echoless chambers in the world. Within the chamber are 2 hemispheres of 5-meter radii, made of perforated aluminum. These are opaque and acoustically transparent. There are 26 video projectors, to create as much of a field of vision as possible. The loudspeaker real-time sound synthesis cluster is suspended behind the aluminum screen, resulting in 3D audio. Computation clusters include simulation, sensor array processing, real-time video processing for motion capture and visual computing, render farm/real-time ray tracing and radiosity cluster,
Wow.
and content and prototyping environments. The Olosphere was developed by a team of scientists, led primarily by Professor Joan Cutcher-Morin, a professor in the field of composition, of the Media Arts and Technology program of UCSB.
Well, we're way too up high to see that, but holy moly, that sounds like a lot of fun. Imagine that for Microsoft's Flight Simulator. The Allosphere. ALLO. That's Santa Barbara.
Naples State Marine Conservation Area is a marine protected area that protects Naples Reef, which is about 3/4 of a mile offshore along the middle of the pristine and rural Gaviota Coast in Santa Barbara County on California's south coast. The SMCA covers 2.58 square miles. The MPAs protects marine life by limiting the removal of wildlife from within its borders. Naples SMCA prohibits take of living marine resources except recreational take of pelagic finfish, including Pacific bonito and white sea bass by spearfishing is allowed, commercial take of giant kelp by hand harvest is allowed, or by mechanical harvest is allowed only under the following condition: duplicate landing records must be kept on board the harvest vessel in accordance with the requirements of Section 165. Take pursuant to operation and maintenance of artificial structures inside the conservation area is allowed pursuant to any required federal, state and local permits, or as otherwise authorized by the department. Please see the following for official details on boundaries, regulations, and other information.
Sure is gonna suck when all this falls into the ocean. At this time in our history, that might not be a blessing for a lot of people with the way things are going. Horrible thing to say. Never mind. Sorry about that. actually surprised that they haven't filled all this in, considering how much the population you saw downfield. I mean, it was just non-stop, but yet they haven't really. Sure, it seems like more rich people. Lovely. Lovely day for flying. Pretty sure we're on live, right? You live, yeah. Live weather, live time. So yeah, beautiful day for flying in California. Don't think we have much wind. Let's check here. Actually, you know, pretty good sized wind, 18 knots. Coming in from the ocean. when I look at the Caravan, because its wheels don't lift up, you know, and tuck away. It's like little legs dangling down. Whee! I haven't even smoked anything today. Whee! Yeah, it's very pretty. Now that's soft rolling hills. Need more of that. Of an Air Force base coming up here. I'm still so blown away because I could, you know, I think back to like 2010 when I was getting into FSX, but prior to that I had messed around with Flight Simulator 2000, 3000, but I just wasn't any good at it and didn't have a good enough computer for it to really get into flight simulation proper. And I just remember when there wasn't a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I reflect back, and at that time, like when FSX was around, playing with that, and they're like, well, you know, when you'd see advertisements out there, for $4,000, you can order this 25 CD collection and have really great graphics, and you know.
The Honda Point disaster was the largest peacetime loss of U.S. Navy ships. On the evening of September 8, 1923, 7 destroyers, while traveling at 20 knots, ran aground at Honda Point, a few miles from the northern side of the Santa Barbara Channel off Point Arguello on the coast in Santa Barbara County, California. 2 other ships grounded but were able to maneuver free off the rocks. 23 sailors died in the disaster. The 14 ships of Desron 11 were steaming south in column from San Francisco Bay to San Diego Bay on September 8, 1923. Captain Watson flew his flag on USS Delphi. All were Clemson-class destroyers, less than 5 years old. The ships turned east to course 095, supposedly heading into the Santa Barbara Channel, at 2100 hours. The ships were navigating by dead reckoning, estimating positions from their course and speed, as measured by propeller revolutions per minute. At that time, radio navigation aids were new and not completely trusted. USS Delphi was equipped with a radio navigation receiver, but her captain, Lieutenant Commander Donald T. Hunter, who was also acting as the squadron's navigator, ignored its indicated bearings, believing them to be erroneous. No effort was made to take soundings of water depths using a fathometer, as this would require the ships to slow down to take the measurements. The ships were performing an exercise that simulated wartime conditions, and Captain Watson also wanted the squadron to make a fast passage to San Diego, so the decision was made not to slow down. Despite the heavy fog, Commodore Watson ordered all ships to travel in close formation and, turning too soon, went aground. 6 others followed and sank. 2 ships whose captains disobeyed the close formation order survived, although they also hit the rocks.
Man, makes me think of Commodore Decker and Star Trek. I mean, it's usually some... Man, what a sad, sad story. Incompetence all around, or, you know, whatever it was. Sorry, I'm just sad to hear about it. I want to say people are incompetent or chumps or whatever. It's just sad. It is what it is. That is mighty Hulk green down there. This is Vandenberg. Here we go. Sort of the ground now. Does that mean how Hulk green that is? Space Launch Complex 4. Should be getting an audible on this one here any moment. Really? Audible for it? Past it.
Space Launch Complex 4 is a launch and landing site at Vandenberg Air Force Base with 2 pads, both of which are used by SpaceX for Falcon 9 launch operations, operating as Landing Zone 4 for SpaceX landings. The complex was previously used by Atlas and Titan rockets between 1963 and 2005. It consisted of 2 launch pads, SLC-4 Watts and SLC-4E, which were formerly designated Palk 2-3 and Palk 2-4 respectively. Both pads were built for use by Atlas Agena rockets, but were later rebuilt to handle Titan rockets. The designation SLC-4 was applied at the time of the conversion to launch Titans. Both pads at Space Launch Complex 4 are currently leased by SpaceX. SLC-4E is leased as a launch site for the Falcon 9 rocket, which first flew from Vandenberg on the 29th of September 2013, following a 24-month refurbishment program which had started in early 2011. SpaceX began a 5-year lease of Launch Complex 4 West in February 2015 in order to use that area as a landing pad to bring back VTVL return to launch site first stage boosters of the reusable Falcon 9 launch vehicle. That pad was later named by SpaceX as Landing Zone 4 and first used operationally for a Falcon 9 booster landing in 2018.
Far out, man. Tried getting into Baldur's Gate again last night. Streamed for about an hour. Just made a spectacular mess of it. Can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. Just floundered around for a while. And then got myself killed in a miraculous fashion. Just by the evil wizard Leroican. I don't know that he was evil. He's just morally... just wiped out. So I need to get back into that and remember even how to play it, try to remember what quests I'm doing, and just I was completely lost last night. No confidence, just floundering. So I have to probably just play for a couple hours tonight and try to get back into it before I start streaming it again. Just delete last night's stream altogether. It was just one big mess. Now that I'm getting better at this streaming thing and usually working out most of my bugs now. I can get back into Bannerlord and whatever that one, the survival game I was playing, The Dark Alone or something like that. The Dark, whatever. Oh yeah, as I was saying, yeah, going back to FSX, 2010. There was no hope at that point that Microsoft would come back and end up making a flight simulator. X-Plane was around, but again, you had to just go through, you had to do so much work to import graphics and try to make it look good. And just so hard. And if you didn't have a good computer for it and really didn't know what you're doing, just so difficult. And so as we were traveling back over this and around there, just marveling again, at one point this would have been thousands and thousands of dollars to have a package that could even do half of this. So I remember writing lots of letters begging Microsoft to come back. Not saying I caused it to happen. So there were millions of people around the planet begging Microsoft at that time to please, please, please come back. please make us another flight simulator. And then they licensed FSX to Dovetail Games so that they could release the Steam version of FSX. And then, if you know your flight simulator lore and history, they licensed some content with Microsoft, and they developed Flight Sim World and Flight School. And they were fantastic products. Flight School and Flight Sim World were by Dovetail Games were fantastic. And whatever agreement that they had with Microsoft, when Microsoft decided it at some point it was going to make Flight Simulator 2020, they made Dovetail Games pull those two flight sims off the market, Flight School and Flight Sim World. And they were great. Their training missions were great. Everything about what Dovetail Games had achieved was fantastic. And yeah, you know, and hopefully, I'm sure they were probably compensated well, but that's so sad when you spend all this time developing something and you develop, I mean, prior to this, I mean, it wasn't as good looking as this by any means. Still close. It was very, very good. And then just to have to shelve it and never let it see the light of day again. If you're even slightly interested in what something like that may have, what it looked like, if you owned it on Steam, you can still play it. You can still use it. And I have it, and in the past, in my on my channel, and you dig around, there's the Flight School, some of the training missions, and then the licensing lessons that you would have to go through in Flight Sim World. If you ever want to see what that product looked like. Rover Beach. Starting to get heavily populated again. Now that's a nice beach for sure. Grover, man, of course it's Grover's Beach. He's got a majestic beach.
The Diablo Canyon Power Plant is an electricity-generating nuclear power plant near Avila Beach in San Luis Obispo County, California.
Really?
Since the permanent shutdown of the San Onofre nuclear generating station in 2013, Diablo Canyon is the only operational nuclear plant left in the state. The plant has two Westinghouse-designed 4-loop pressurized water nuclear reactors operated by Pacific Gas and Electric. Diablo Canyon Power Plant is on approximately 900 acres of land located just west of Avila Beach, California. The power-producing portion of the plant occupies around 12 acres. Together, the twin 1,100 MW reactors produce about 18,000 gigawatts each of electricity annually, supplying the electrical needs of more than 3 million people. In June 2016, PG&E announced that it plans to close the two Diablo Canyon reactors in 2024 and 2025. Full decommissioning of the plant is estimated to take decades and cost nearly $4 billion.
That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. That we would turn our back on nuclear energy. It's mind-boggling, the people that are in charge. They're just, blows my mind. It just blows my mind. We used to have wonderful hydro plants from the Tesla era, and they let them all fall apart and go into disrepair, most of them. And then we developed nuclear power plants. And here in a time when we're desperately in need of more and more and more power, you know, this whole mockery of the Green New Deal or green whatever their trip is. It just blows my mind, man. How we've let these people get in charge and control as much as they do, and nerf us as much as they do. I don't know why we've let them, you know, but they've used a lot of propaganda on us, and they've convinced us of certain things, that this is bad, or you know, and yet they forced, you know, miles and miles and miles of ugly wind farms, and, you know, it's nice. I mean, take advantage of all electricity, and out there it's not a big deal. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to see, and, you know, when you put them out there where nobody can see them, sure. But I mean, I couldn't even see where that power plant was, and there's supposed to be two of them right there, and, you know, just tucked away. Now I think there's a lot of propaganda on the subject, because there's a lot of videos out there of the people that created the first nuclear power plants, and everything that they say is completely opposite of what everything all the fear mongering in the 80s and 3 Mile Island and this and that. They just say no, it's all propaganda. That they were
Morro Bay is
that they
an
were safe.
incorporated waterfront city in San Luis Obispo County, California, located along California State Route 1 on California's central coast. As of the 2010 census, the city population was 10,234. The town's most striking feature is Morro Rock, a 176 meters high volcanic plug which stands at the entrance to the harbor. Originally, it was surrounded by water, but the northern channel was filled in to make the harbor. It was quarried from 1889 to 1969, and in 1968, it was designated a historical landmark. Another prominent landmark is the large Dynegy power plant, previously owned by Pacific Gas and Electric Company, Duke Energy, and LS Power, which has played a large role in Morro Bay and in providing electricity to the Central Coast and the Central Valley of California, primarily Fresno and Bakersfield.
So I've seen documentaries again with and these are old men, old men. They didn't die from radiation, and they built some of the world's first nuclear power plants. And they're like, it's so safe, we would go swimming. You know, the pools that they have with the cooling rods and everything? They're like, it's all propaganda. Like, we would go swimming every night in the pools. What? Yeah, you know, the pools with all the cooling rods? Yeah, we'd go swimming in them every night. Like, it's all lies. Every bit of it is, it's lies. It's all meant to, you know, just fears and or people that, again, don't want America advancing. That's the saddest part. People that would work counter to the advancement of our country. Like now, with the energy, look what they've done to us. They're doing to us with the drilling. And you see there's so much land out there. There's so much land out there that is uninhabited as we fly around the United States doing these cross countries and we look at everything. And you're talking about the footprint of oil producing plants. And they're just an ant speck on the map. Again, with the oil too. You know, there's people out there that work in oil that are not paid shills, and they're like, no, there's more oil than that. We'll never run out of oil. The whole fossil fuel concept was to make you believe that it is a limited resource. The earth is always producing oil. It will always produce oil, and there's more oil than we'll ever be able to use. And so, you know, again, and then the climate change people and like, well, we can't have this, and we can't have that, and we can't have this. And, you know, they're believing people that really want to see us fail. And I mean, we'd all... Oh. They always talk about that special place in hell. You know, you've always heard, well, you know, hopefully there's a special place in hell for people like that. And yeah, I really do. If you read Dante's Inferno or the Dante's Divine Comedy, there is a special place in hell in the mouth of the devil for doing the, you know, certain ultimate crimes. And if memory serves, at least one or two or three of the people that reside in the mouth of the devil, perpetually being chewed on and nom-nommed on, are one of them is Brutus and Cassius. Brutus and Cassius, I think. They're the two of the people that killed Caesar. Right? Et tu, Brute? Wow. So what, you know, what was the reason why for killing Caesar? That they got that special place in hell. And it was for thwarting the advancement of human civilization. That Caesar, despite Julius Caesar, despite his shortcomings or whatever, that he was bringing in, he was advancing human civilization and putting in, you know, sewers and baths and aqueducts. And they were advancing human civilization to be able to provide for and take care of your population, take care of the people. And so by killing Caesar, they killed a lot of the advancement that was going to happen. And you know what happened? And after the Roman Empire fell, they call it the Dark Ages. People, you know, or have you ever seen that television show Vikings? So the Romans made it all the way up into Great Britain, and they were building. Oh, there's the Hearst place up ahead. They were, you know, building all this. They built amazing stuff, castles with sewers and this, and then the Vikings come in and they raid it all and kill everybody and they take it. And then they're completely blown away that they didn't even know what a sewer was. They couldn't believe that they had conquered a people that were so highly advanced. And then again, it all fell into disrepair because they're goo heads and they didn't know how to maintain anything or do anything. They were still pooping in bogs. So I think about what's going on today a lot, and these people are like, well, the Green knew this and stop this and stop drilling and stop doing this and turn off your nuclear power plants and do this and do that. And it really makes me think about Dante, that they're the modern day Brutus types that may end up, if you believe it, having that special place in hell for what they have done. And literally, if things were to collapse at this point, it could put us back into a dark age. Just because too many people are concerned about pronouns as, instead of everything else. They've got us all dumbed down and stupid and afraid and, from 1917 with Tesla, I used to love talk about Tesla and all the advancements that he had been working on that were nerfed or hidden. And how far along we would be if certain people weren't allowed to make big decisions for the rest of us. And mostly how they've always been wrong. History shows that all these people that have tried to do all these things and control this and that, they've almost always been wrong. Everybody who suppressed science, everybody who thought, oh, this theory is better than this theory, and they suppress things, they've always been wrong. The stories don't heavily weigh with so many people being right. It's usually never. And so that's how I feel about all these people today. The current president, his administration, and all the goo heads that follow him. To me, they have no concept of history. They're not scholars. They're not religious. So chances are they've never read Dante. And then they're not historians. Yet they claim to be the smart ones. I'm sorry if that offends you if you're, let's say, a Democrat. I don't want to get too political. You can vote however you vote. But, we need to be able to have discussions about this, about the past, history, all the failures of the people that have tried to control things and where we're currently at. And, the problems that we could face because of bad decision making, knee-jerk reactions. Climate changes, folks. It does. We have seasons, and just not on top of that. Not trying to make light of things, but they're in modern recorded history, like after the flood, antediluvial history. We know about 5 cataclysms. Cataclysm is part of what the earth goes through. And we've talked about Egypt, and we've talked about as we were flying over Chaco Canyon, and you can't look at these things today and you see it's all dead out there and everything. Like, well, why did they all leave? Well, there was change. Climate change happens. There used to be an abundance of water, and a lot of the stuff was underwater at one point. The earth has changed a lot. It's changing. That's just the way things are. But it's total hubris to think that, that we can control anything. These people that claim to be experts, again, it depends on who's making the money. Who are the ones that are publishing papers or they're and suppressing other people's scientific advancement? And it's still happening. There are a lot of incredible people out there, incredible scientists, and they can't get their papers published because they're being suppressed. For example, a lot of the plasma physics physicists, and their stuff works. I mean, the technology that we rely on today, all of their stuff, you know, they've got science completely on their side. And now we're developing new areas of science like plasma cosmogony, plasma cosmology, plasma astrophysics. You know, and it's these people that are looking at our Earth and saying, hey, you know, we don't live in a bubble. Right? So trying to say that we can control climate change is completely ridiculous, because everything about our planet is being controlled by external forces, mostly. Why do planets rotate? Why do planets not stop rotating? What is the mechanism keeping planets rotating? What is the mechanism that is causing planet spacing? What are the mechanisms that are causing planet terraforming? What are the mechanisms that are causing weather? Right? And so much of it is of what is going on our planet is being caused by external forces we will never be able to control. You're dealing with literally godlike cosmic forces that control everything. And that's why I say it's hubris. That's when you have to realize it's about control. It's about whatever they're doing. To me, there is more power as being bioelectric beings. There is more power in thought and prayer. And they always shove that in our face. Screw your thoughts and prayers. Well, we're bioelectric beings in a bioelectric universe, and everything about what is controlling our planet is electric phenomenon. And so our ability when we're thinking to generate frequencies and generate thought frequencies and have those expand out to the world and into space. To me, it seems like in the long run, there's more power in thought and prayer than there is in all their silly goo-head machinations. I hate it when they say that. Through your thoughts and prayers.
The Silver Peak Wilderness is located in the southwestern corner of Monterey County in the Santa Lucia Mountains along the central coast of California. Its southern boundary largely follows the Monterey County/San Luis Obispo County line. Its eastern boundary is defined by Ft. Hunter Liggett, while on the west it follows closely along Highway 1 and the Big Sur coastline. It is one of 10 wilderness areas within the Los Padres National Forest and managed by the U.S. Forest Service. The wilderness was created by the U.S. Congress as part of the Los Padres Condor Range and River Protection Act of 1992, which set aside approximately 14,500 acres. The same legislation also established the Chumash, Garcia, Machesna Mountain, Matiliha, and Sespe wilderness areas. On December 19, 2002, they added 17,055 acres to the existing wilderness. The wilderness is in two separate units, divided by the Willow Creek drainage and the fire roads to Alder Creek. The wilderness terrain rises steeply from near the Pacific Ocean to Silver Peak itself at 3,590 feet. Vegetation in the forests includes California sycamore, the big leaf maple, and red alder. Open slopes are dominated by ceanothus, manzanita, coastal live oak, and gray pine.
I love manzanita.
There is also an isolated stand of coastal redwoods, the world's southernmost stand of redwoods. The wilderness also encompasses a rare grove of Sargent cypress, gray pines, and Santa Lucia fir. In the spring, when the creeks fill, Some of the steeper canyons feature waterfalls. Salmon Creek Falls, just off CA1, is a very popular attraction, and the Salmon Creek Trail is a popular access point to the wilderness. Views on clear days extend to the Big Sur coastline to the north, the Pacific Ocean to the west, and the Salinas Valley to the east. Recreation includes backpacking, horse camping, and day trips. As with all wilderness areas, motorized and mechanized vehicles are prohibited everywhere except the Forest Service roads.
One of my conspiracy theories is that in a lot of these places that are designated no living, no doing anything in other than hiking and camping, it's going back to all the Smithsonian expeditions that said they found all this amazing stuff, ancient ruins and everything else. But then they've just lost all that information over time. And, Congress, to me, they don't do things for our benefit. It seems like it. Oh, it's a national park. Oh, what a lovely idea. At this point in time, I just have come to completely distrust government. And that's really sad. I grew up and I believed in government. But now I don't. I believe in the evil of man and greed, and I believe in conspiracy. And I believe in suppression of information and knowledge, and I believe in, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I don't trust anything anymore. I don't take anything at face value anymore. There's always something in the back of my mind going, bullshit. So, now I say, well, what do you have hidden there? What's there you don't want us to see? You got all these people flooding into the country, and what? Can't make more space for them to live out there? Oh, no. No. I am glad we are ecologically minded. I mean, it is one of the most amazing things that we have advanced to where it's not hand-to-mouth survival with our populations. And that we have advanced technologically and to be able to survive and enjoy the kind of lives that we do, to have the freedom to think about ecology. And I think that we always will. We'll always advance, again, just let things advance the way that they're supposed to, according to, let's say, his plan. And we'll get there. We're always striving to be better. And we learn from our mistakes. That's a lot of the reason they say why we're here. And that's, the planet he told us. If you believe that, again, if you are biblical in any way, he gave us this planet to learn from. And that's what we do. We learn, about this and about that. No, we can make this. And look what we've done to this point in time. It is our teacher. And it's our mother, and we're always trying to get better at taking care of things, and I think we always will. Oh, can't have dirty water. Can't do this. Can't throw this into the water. We're going to get some mutant fish, and we learn, and that's the only way to learn, is learning from our mistakes. Like we've reached the Peter principle with our elected officials. They have risen to the level of their incompetence. They stand on the shoulders of greater people and greater men and women of the past. And they just cause us so much harm. We should all be living wonderfully right now. And they've just got us bled dry and under their thumb, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to submit. Is that what life is about? Is that what we're here for? To listen to people like that? I don't think so. So we have a couple of choices, I think, ahead of us with these elections coming up. It's either the space age or the dark age, folks. We're going to let these people take us. We're going to demand that they relinquish their controls and we make ourselves prosperous again. And we truly go into the space age. Or these people that are wanting to seize control all over the planet are going to send us all back to the dark age. A dark age period. So again, I don't care how you vote. That's up to you. But we need to think about these things, who we're putting in charge and what we're letting them do, the power that we're giving them. And we really need to take it all back. In the past, we had no choice but to send people to Washington to represent us. That's literally what they're representatives. But once they get there, they don't do that. They're there for themselves and other people. But we had no choice. The distances were so great in the past that we had no choice but to formulate a government that operated the way it did. And we had to send people to DC to represent us. And now we have real-time communications and digital technologies, and we can swipe left and swipe right on things we like and dislike. And yet we have no power anymore. Of the people, by the people, for the people is a bunch of BS right now in 2023. If we spent half of the time that we spend on social media, if they would put all these voting matters of our states and our government in front of us while we're in social media, for us to swipe left and swipe right, click yes, click no. Did anybody get asked to vote on how they felt about, let's say, something like Ukraine? Did we get a swipe left or swipe right? How we all collectively felt about sending all of our money and putting us into tremendous debt over there to go screw with Putin and Russia? When in the long run, at the end of the day, as they say, we're going to need them as our allies more than ever before, in my opinion. They're a Catholic Christian people. Ultimately, what the communists did was just horrible. But ultimately, at the end, good people. And so I think we're going to need them more than ever in the future. And so these people that want to pit us against people that are going to be our greatest allies in the future, that need to be, they're creating such division. And I wish we were all smart enough collectively as a people to say, let's rid of mandamus, the entire government. And that means kicking everybody out. Yeah, things would suck for a while. But we need a convention of states, and we need to discuss how to operate government in the in the year 2023 and moving forward, and how we need to put more power in our hands and take power away from them to stop them from spending us to oblivion and taxing us and regulating everything so heavily. Control, control, control. We must have a really good wind. We've just been picking up speed and picking up speed. Yep. A 21 knot wind behind us. We're almost redlining. Talk about a nice tailwind.
Pfeiffer Beach is located in the Big Sur region of California. It is one of the most popular beaches on the Central Coast and is well known for keyhole rock, a popular photography subject. On a limited number of days in December and January each year, photographers crowd the beach to obtain pictures of the setting sun visible through the arch. Due to the steep terrain prevalent along the Big Sur coast, it one of the few ocean access points within Big Sur. The entrance to Sycamore Canyon Road, a single-lane, 2.2 miles long access road, can be difficult to find. The road and the beach are within the Los Padres National Forest. The road is named for the western sycamores that grow along the road and near the beach. Because it is so narrow, pedestrians and recreational vehicles are not permitted on the road. The Forest Service has a superior easement on the road. There are only 5 spots along the road where 2 vehicles can pass each other. Visitor traffic along the road is 7 to 10 times that of local traffic. The parking lot accommodates 65 vehicles and is usually full on summer and holiday weekends. When available, parking is $12 per vehicle. During the summer, a shuttle operates from the U.S. Forest Service headquarters at Big Sur Station to the beach. It is a short walk from the parking lot to the beach. The wide sandy beach is sometimes confused with Julia Pfeiffer Burns Park and the beach at Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park to the south. The 1-mile-long beach is known for purple patches of sand that are occasionally visible, especially after rain. The purple color is caused by manganese garnet that is eroded down from nearby hillsides. Since Pfeiffer Beach is on federal land, nudity is legal and state nudity laws and state park nudity regulations don't apply. The north end of the beach is sometimes clothing optional. The beach is open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. No camping or fires are permitted. There are 4 picnic tables available. Swimming can be hazardous due to the cold water, rocks, and strong currents. The weather from June to August can be foggy and cold, known locally as June gloom. The Pfeiffer family built the first home in Sycamore Canyon near the coast in the winter of 1869. Michael and Barbara Lackey Pfeiffer were on their way to the south coast of Big Sur when they were forced to stop for the season in Sycamore Canyon. They liked the area so much they decided against moving south again the following spring. Their 8 children married and lived in the area for several generations. The family established the Pfeiffer Ranch Resort near their home in 1910. An Esalen Midden site is near their home. Their son John and his wife Sulema Florence Swetnam built a cabin near the north bank of the Big Sur River in 1884. Pfeiffer Big Sur State Park is named after John, who donated the initial 700 acres to the state of California. Pfeiffer Beach is also named for the Pfeiffer family.
I wonder if Michelle was one of them. Right? Pretty rich girl getting into Hollywood. Uh-huh.
Bixby Creek Bridge, also known as Bixby Canyon Bridge, on the Big Sur coast of California, is one of the most photographed bridges in California due to its aesthetic design, graceful architecture and magnificent setting. It is a reinforced concrete open spandrel arch bridge. The bridge is 120 miles south of San Francisco and 13 miles south of Carmel in Monterey County along State Route 1. Before the opening of the bridge in 1932, residents of the Big Sur area were virtually cut off during winter due to blockages on the often impassable Old Coast Road, which led 11 miles inland. The bridge was built under budget for $199,861 and, at 360 feet, was the longest concrete arch span on the California state highway system. When it was completed, it was the highest single-span arch bridge in the world, and it remains one of the tallest, but the land north and south of the bridge was privately owned until 1988 and 2001. A logging company obtained approval to harvest redwood on the former Bixby Ranch to the north in 1986, and in 2000 a developer obtained approval to subdivide the former Brazil Ranch to the south. Local residents and conservationists fought their plans, and both pieces of land were eventually acquired by local and federal government agencies. After a $20 million seismic retrofit completed in 1996, the bridge remains functionally obsolete. Its 24-foot width does not meet modern standards requiring bridges to be 32 feet wide.
But when we were still able to build things that lasted for a long time, and it wasn't stupidly expensive. I have been out here. Spent the night on one of these cliffs somewhere around here. Could have been any one of those. Pretty close. Something like that, we were just a stone's breadth away from the cliffs and the ocean, so, in there or in here. Yeah. Maybe a little bit further over here. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think that's the area. But I don't, who knows? So long ago. But me and a bunch of buddies and a buddy from college all went out there camping. Blood red moon that night. Yeah. Probably taking that road right there. Out there, down there. It had some nice cliffs, so that's why I think we're further down range. That's all pretty flat, right down to the shore there. We were up pretty high.
Mission San Carlos Borromeo del Rio Carmelo, or Misión de San Carlos Borromeo de Carmelo, first built in 1797, is one of the most authentically restored Roman Catholic mission churches in California. Located at the mouth of Carmel Valley, California, it is on the National Register of Historic Places and is a National Historic Landmark. From 1797 until 1833, Carmel Mission was the headquarters of all Alta California missions. It was headed by Saint Junipero Serra from 1770 until his death in 1784. It was also the seat of the second mission's presidente, Father Fermin Francisco de Lasuen, who was in charge of completing 9 more mission churches. In 1833, the mission buildings and lands were secularized by the Mexican government. By the mid-19th century, the Carmel mission structures had fallen into disrepair. The chapel was saved from total destruction when the roof was rebuilt in 1884. In 1886, ownership of the mission was transferred from a group of Franciscans to the Diocese of Monterey. Ever since, Carmel Mission has been a parish within that diocese. Beginning in 1931, Harry Downey began restoring the mission and worked continuously on the project for the next 50 years. It is the only Spanish mission in California that has its original bell and bell tower.
I want that structure. Big. Prominent. Doing pretty good today. Already covered some. The little circles shows where we've been. So now zoom in way big here. La Mesa Military Housing. Oh, hush. Doesn't look like it. Mulberry Hill. Like it would be right here. Road comes down and goes. Okay, so oh hush. Oh well. Okay, we're getting close to our destination here. And Salinas is over here somewhere. And again, that's where I used to live for a short period of time. Hello to all the people in Salinas that I knew. Okay. 8 miles. All right, man. I've got a cat that is just insisting that he goes outside. One moment. All right, buddy. Nice. Mm-hmm. Why, yes, it does. All right. AP didn't disengage. There we go. Left the separator open. Derp. Castroville, artichoke capital of the world. I don't know. Artichoke capital of California. Either way, it's supposedly Castroville is the king of the artichoke, and I love them. I wish part of me were more ambidextrous, because I have a difficult time using the joystick in the right hand and then trying to manipulate the mouse with the left. Just can't seem to do it. So I'm cross-armed at the moment. my left hand is operating the joystick. The right hand is now trying to operate the radio. Oh. We're on final. Switching back. A little early. Whoops. I've got to get my brakes fixed. That button sticks too much now. Not sensitive. Enough. All right. Let's see if this is functioning properly. NEOFLY didn't give us the audible when we selected the mission, and that always makes me concerned. It does show us that we have the job, though. and it should be telling us that we've completed our mission. But it's I'm checking my volumes and I just don't see anything that would indicate, oh, NEOFLY, the volume is up at 100%. Are you spinning? Get hypnotized. All right, we're hearing our beeping. So waiting to see if this will kick in. It did. It cleared the job. We got paid. Getting close to back up to where we were before we crashed and lost all of our money. That's so strange. I'm just going to pick a job and see if we get an audible. No, we're not. Just canceled it. Up to this point, there's never been such thing as a volume, and I've never had a volume problem with this. I'm gonna turn it off and turn it back on. Thing is still cycling down. Gads, man. All right, let's try to load it up again. So quiet. Airport. Yeah, our audible has gone away. App is not muted. Wow, I don't have an explanation. Maybe somehow it got switched to... an output, but everything's set to default. Nope. Oh well. As long as we know it's working, so okay. So we'll keep going here. No, I should probably just stop right there then. One, to figure out this Audible problem, but two, that's just enough. 2 hours for the stream. I really need to figure out that Baldur's Gate game again and play that for a while to get back into it before I start streaming that. Again, last night was just a total embarrassment. Didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, well, I need to go do this, but oh, that's going to cause a bunch of problems. So thanks for joining in today, episode 71. And again, looking back over where we've been today. Doing pretty good. So all these circles on the map show us where we have been. We're down here in Ventura. So tomorrow, yeah, let's just keep going north a little bit. I want to find a nice place to cut back. And start heading home to Colorado. Here. So if we were to draw a straight line, basically there's a big place. Fort Bragg. More wilderness areas. Yeah, up here and then cut in. I've got family that live over here in Oroville. Chico. All right. So tomorrow, up past San Francisco. Alameda, where the nuclear vessels are, right? So we'll go check out Alameda and see if we can find some nuclear vessels. And there's Oakland. Piedmont. Sausalito. Tiburon. There's some awesome places to see tomorrow. Yeah. Make our way up here to Oroville. Sacramento shouldn't be too far away, right? Over here. Either way, at that point, yeah, let's start just cutting back then. And then we'll plan our cross-country back. Pretty heavy populated with interesting stuff. Not too much out here, though. Well, we'll take a look and see if anything exciting is out here. If not, we'll just hop over to Salt Lake City. And we've pretty much covered all of this. We've not really covered anything here. So maybe at that point, either shoot up for here or shoot up for here. And then we've pretty much covered all of these points. The only thing we're really missing is some of these points out here on the Kansas side. So where should the next cross country be? If you have any opinions on that, like, oh, I'd really like to see ... Yeah, let me know in the chat. Make a comment on the video after it's done, whenever. Or would you like to do some international flying? Would you like to do airliner flying? Some airliner missions? You might be tired of the Caravan and maybe moving so slow. So what's your opinion? Airliners? Please, if you see it today and you're one of like the 10 people that watch this or check in every day, yeah, please. Do you want me to do some airliner flying or any other type of plane that you'd want to see and hoop around? And we can get a job for anything. We just need to rent another plane or sign up for freelance. We'll take a big hit in money because in freelance mode you don't own the plane. Even sitting up here at $9 million, we just can't even come close to purchasing something like an airliner. But using, again, freelance, it doesn't matter. Money's not the big thing here. This is just a pastime. Doesn't matter. So you pick any vehicle you want, any aircraft you want, and then come in here and there'll be a freelance option. Yeah. Please let me know. I'll have to flip a coin and make decisions myself. Did I even put up a message for today? It was running so late, probably not. That's Baldur's Gate. Yep, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was today. 72. Another good reason for me to end now is I believe what EPOS, one of the gentlemen that I watch, EPOVox, but I can't think of his name. He says that if I move up to if I upscale OBS into the 1400s or higher, then YouTube will open up better encoding options and allow me to do that. Might have to allocate more bandwidth, but he's saying, hey man, it's too limiting at 1080p. Well, at 1080p so far, when I'm moving around with the graphic settings that I have, I don't get any shimmering textures. I mean, I have in the past when I didn't fully understand. I still don't fully understand. Got lucky setting things right. So you may have noticed that, yeah, in my latest live streams, like all the trees aren't shimmering and all the ground objects aren't shimmering. And so when I went up to the 1440, everything got wicked bad. And they're like, well, maybe you're throwing too much anti-aliasing at it. Well, whatever it is, I started messing with settings and I couldn't get it before starting today's live stream. So yeah, let me end and muck about with that, because again, I believe him. I mean, everything he's all of his videos, they've all helped me in some way, and I absolutely trust him. So if he says do it, do it. So now I've just got to do it and find the right settings so that we get the non-flickering variety. Dumb word to use. Get a non-flickering experience for you and for me. Okay, I can do this. Yeah, that's proper. So let me know if you have any opinions, and as I always say, with luck I'll be on starting same time tomorrow, but if something comes up, then it'll be pushed back to later in the afternoon. See you tomorrow.